everybody, to Mindful Mondays with Laura Cross, where I am your host and resource for education, connections, and collaborations to support you on your wellness journey. And I want to start by thanking my beautiful guest and sponsor for this episode, Linda Joy Benn. And thank you for having her here with us today. So, Linda has over 30 years of experience in soul alignment and holistic healing, and she has transformed countless lives through her revolutionary BENN Method. And after overcoming her own battles with cancer and chronic fatigue without medical intervention, she's here to share her profound insights on self healing and reconnecting with your true essence. Linda, thank you so much for being here today.
Laura, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here with you, and thanks for having me.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm.
And I love all of that you've, overcome with this. Can you tell us what inspired you to begin your journey with self-healing and how that came about?
It started back in 1990 when I met my spiritual teacher. So I'm from Australia, and right before I was going on my backpacking adventure, which ended up a 3-year walkabout around the world, I was diagnosed with cancer, and the doctors didn't want me to leave, and it was like, no, I've been planning my travel, my big backpacking tour for so long. This is everything that I'd worked and saved for, and it's like I've got to get out of the country, and not knowing that the solution and the answers were I discovered it when I traveled. So I was in San Francisco. I met this lady randomly, and this is how spirit works.
Hmm.
They send, angels, earth angels that lead you along the path. And she said to me, I heard that there's a really good psychic in San Jose. Would you like to come with me and have a reading? I just said, absolutely. And so we both went and had a reading. Um, and Dale was on the other side of the desk, and afterwards he gave me his card and said, look, I don't normally do this, but here's my card. It's got my home phone number on it. Call me. Now, I didn't tell this other lady that I'd been diagnosed. I was just on my adventure, and focused on my travels. And anyway, so when I started talking to Dale, that's where the floodgates opened. The whole Pandora's box opened. He helped me to understand the mind body spirit connection, what my purpose was, why I created the cancer in my body, which was a lot of suppressed emotions. At the time, I was in so much emotional pain, but I never showed it on the outside because it's like just keep putting on a happy face. And one of the big perspectives that he helped me to understand is why my family are the way that they are and the roles that they're playing. So that helped me to forgive them and not fall into the victim state of why don't they like me or love me? Why do they keep judging and ostracizing me? And because during my childhood, yeah, I went through a lot of abuse, physical, emotional, mental.
Right.
It was continuous, and I couldn't understand why. And I kept asking why. So, in my time with Dale, I'd go down to San Jose every week for 6 months, and I'd spend time with him, listening and learning. And that was the best foundation that you can't learn this out of a book or a seminar or a workshop. And so that's what put me on my holistic health journey. And then I continue to study. But now all those teachings that I learnt from Dale is what I've now transferred and teaching in my BENN Method Academy, along with everything else that I've been studying for the last 35 years. And so this is my soul's mission and why I'm here, and everything that I've overcome, and the healing work that I've always been doing for people is really empowering each individual that you have the power within you to heal your own body. And I've done this not just with the cancer, but even autoimmune, and then the chronic fatigue and the adrenal burnout and a whole bunch of other labels. But it's like I knew, even when I was at rock bottom, I knew that I had the power to heal my own body, and it comes from your consciousness.
So was that part of what you were bullied about when you were younger because you knew that, or you knew you were different, or
I knew I was different. Yeah, I was born psychic. I was also born joyful. And because my mum was very unhappy in her marriage and very angry for being in the marriage, she yeah, she wasn't a happy person to be around. Though my siblings and my mum, they've had many past lives together, and in many past lives I've been persecuted by them. So in this life I came in to survive this one and to navigate through, so still be to fulfill my purpose, and just, being the black sheep in the family. And
yeah.
so, and I think a lot of your listeners who are light workers or pioneers in this life can relate to the struggles and the challenges through our childhood, especially when it wasn't accepted in our family upbringing. And a lot of people are coming out and going, now I understand, who I am as a soul and as a being, and it's a different path to my family. So, and this is why for all these decades, I've been teaching, people how to increase their consciousness and expand their awareness and come back into alignment with their soul's mission and who they truly are as a soul, and to let go of all the past conditioning, all the past programming, all the past patterns and beliefs, and the childhood trauma, because that's not who you truly are as a soul. So really step into your power and your sovereignty, and believe in yourself, because you're an amazing, powerful soul and being, and we're all here on this planet to learn and grow as a soul, but to come here with our purpose, and what we choose to fulfill in this life. And some souls, will leave this life kicking and screaming and maybe still angry. So not everyone is awakening right now, but in the last couple of years, so many people have awakened and went, what's this spirituality stuff? And, meditation's no longer considered woo-woo. And there's so much out there now that it's just mainstream. It's like, of course, um, we are powerful, amazing beings, and so this is what I'm here to share, and put all of that into my BENN Method Academy, where I'm training other practitioners to teach everything that I've been collecting in this life as well as thousands of other lives.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
want to say, for one, I'm always amazed by people that knew that, felt it, recognized it from like really early on. Cause like you said,
Mm,
it's always kind of looked at as taboo or, witchy or woo
mm,
woo, whatever. We have so many words for it. And, and
yeah.
whether it's because I'm knowing more and more people that are in that space, because you know how those, I forget what the syndrome's called, but if you do something, or like if you buy a new car, all of a sudden you see all the new cars, it's like I know more intuitives and people that are in that space, and there's really a lot out there. But even you said you're recognizing an awakening. Do you know why do you think that is? That there's more of an awakening now?
Well, that's the whole consciousness evolution that we came here to experience in this lifetime. So in previous lives, all the light workers were persecuted and burnt at the stake and called a witch and poisoned or beheaded, or and it was taboo if you used your psychic powers, but then everyone has those powers, but it's all those that are not recognizing their own innate wisdom and power, fear anything. And that's where it's like, you're a witch or whatever. Whereas now it's more this life and the whole ascension process of what we're going through with what's happening right now on the planet is absolutely amazing. And for over 20 years, I've been teaching a modality that shifts consciousness, expands awareness, and connects all 12 strands of DNA. And I knew it's like, wow, I need to get this out into the world because this will help people to shift consciousness. Because prior to that, I was doing body work and energy work and healing work and seeing people one on one, and everyone would come with pain in their body or this issue or this, and it was just continuous. And then I went, wow, here's a modality that will shift consciousness, and then the physical body will take care of itself. So stop focusing on what the pain and resolve that, and then just be the miraculous, magical, happy, joyful, powerful being that you truly are. And that's what we all came here for. And that's why I created, my whole MoJoy group so everyone can jump out of bed and go, wow, I feel fantastic. I love my life. I have the best life, because our body is the barometer of the soul. So anything that's happening in the physical body is there's a message there, and there's a learning for our soul to actually go, oh, my body's telling me something. We're all energy, so I can shift that energy and just get on with my life and keep playing on this playground that we call Earth. And that's what we all came here to do, is to come and play with all our brothers and sisters. And not everyone is on the same wavelength as us, but that's okay, because everyone's on their own journey of self-discovery, of learning and growing within themselves. And the teachers in the world are just a few steps ahead. And so it's like, we'll find those teachers that can help and pull you up the ladder. And that's what we're all doing on this journey. And no one's better than anyone else. Nobody is a guru. No one is, if they're calling themselves enlightened, well, there's a red flag. We're
I've ran into them too. Yes. Mhm.
we're all here to learn and grow together, and we're all helping each other to climb that ladder. So that's what I teach and I speak about, and I just teach everything that I've learned learnt along my journey, and bringing through all the ancient wisdom that I've collected through all the thousands of lives I've had. And that's my purpose for being here in this life. And I know that in my heart, in my soul, and it actually, when I really feel that, it's like it brings tears to my eyes, because I feel the emotion and the importance of my role in this life. And uh, yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
here to do.
And
Yeah.
I'm so glad you are, because I we need more people like that, and more people to create those spaces, and for people to be able to explore that, and instead of being
Mm.
afraid of being chastised or ostracized by what people think are is normal or right.
Yeah.
So, but going
Yeah.
back to your journey, I mean, can you share with us maybe a pivotal moment during your battle with cancer and the chronic fatigue that you had?
Well, the cancer was when I was 21. And that's when I met my spiritual teacher. So he helped me to heal my body, and when I went back to um check on, because I did go to the doctors to make sure, and basically it's like all the healing work that we had done together, it was pretty much all healed and clear. And so, and that's when by the time I went to London, which was 12 months later, it was like, okay, so that's clear, and it's been clear ever since. So, and then the autoimmune was actually later. So I'd studied and operating my business, and because I moved to California in 2010, and I moved there because it was a bigger audience. I felt Australia was too small, and it was like I was just so fearless and unstoppable. And it's like, how do I was a big fish in a little pond, and it's like, okay, I want to get out there. And so I packed up. I moved to California to live and start my business all over again. I was living there for 7 years, and it was in that time that I had another huge learning, about narcissists and energy vampires, and I was actually drained. Like, by the time I left, I was physically and just, yeah, drained. And I just went, oh, I'm tired. That's when I decided to come back to Australia. And but and I call it burnout. Um, but there's another piece to the story, that the person who was feeding off my energy invited me to a plant medicine ceremony. And in that, if any of your listeners have gone to a plant medicine, it can be like very enlightening or very destroying. In my case, I had my soul pinched off, and it was shattered, and I felt it cut off. And it was when I went back to San Francisco for a visit to sort out my storage stuff, that's when she invited me to this plant medicine ceremony. She said, I'll pick you up at your hotel and drop you off. And it was out in the East Bay of San Francisco. I went with her, and after that, my whole life changed. I hit rock bottom. I didn't understand, but I did feel cut off, because I've always been very intuitive. I ask a question and bang, here's the answer. I'm very visual as well. And I've always just followed the feelings in my body. And when I came back to Australia, it was like, wow, if I'm not here to fulfill if my gifts and share my gifts with the world, what's the point? And I watched my physical body deteriorate. So yes, I was given all the medical labels as well as depression, and I was suicidal. I did call Lifeline. I was at rock bottom, and also my family have never been there to support me, or I mean they're or the attackers, so I never felt safe to even be around them. And I'm not saying that to sound like a victim, but that's just what I signed up for in this life. So it's like, don't rely on the external world to support you. We are so loved by spirit, and we are unconditionally loved in every single second, and we're watched over. So I know the spirit, the universe has my back. But in that process of hitting rock bottom, yeah, that's where I was leaving. I was very, very sick. My liver was functioning at 38%. I lost eyesight in my left eye. I was so fatigued. I was on the couch most of the time because I just had no energy to even function each day. And I'd lost so much weight that my hip dislocated because I had no muscle holding
Mhm.
my joints together. Then my knee dislocated, and so I was not in a good way. And yes, the my doctor wanted to keep medicating me, and then take antidepressants and take this and triple your dose, um, and then when I saw my spiritual teacher, she just went, "Oh my God, what are you doing? You're committing energetic suicide." And I went, "Yeah, I know, I'm exhausted. Like I'd lost who I was."
Right.
And she said, "If you end this contract, the next one will be 10 times worse." And I just went, "No, like this one's already
Bad
been,
enough.
oh yeah." And that was my motivation to start healing my body. But I was okay to leave. I was getting all my financials in order. I was getting rid of stuff. I was quite happy just to quietly leave. And then it was like, right, okay, spirit, help me heal my vessel, my body. And it took about 2 years to and And even then, it's like bringing, because it was like my soul was shattered. So if you can imagine glass being shattered and you're trying to pick up every little splinter of glass and,
Right.
and bring it back. And that's the process I have been doing for my my physical body, as well as my soul and my spirit and my brain, because my brain wasn't even functioning. So this is why I say, when you can come back into alignment with who you truly are. And this is what I teach today. It's like there may be fragments, and this is where the conscious mind, is still holding on to these old beliefs and programs, because we've all been programmed. We're still being programmed. And so when you can take control of your own health and your own life and truly step into your power, and it's like, right, is this true for me? Because we hear stuff and we see stuff every day, but keep stepping into your truth and believing your truth, and keep asking your heart. And because we're seeing a lot of chaos and division and drama that's playing out in
Oh,
the
yeah.
external world, and we're all bombarded with stuff right now. And it's like, wow, how do you discern through that? So and it's interesting, my lesson was discernment, to learn narcissistic behavior and how to discern that and stay out of those relationships.
Yeah. And
But
that,
I was naive to it because I grew up with two narcissistic sisters. So it's like, oh, everyone has, a good heart. And if I just love them enough, or if I, just keep seeing the good in people. And I really, truly wanted to just see the good in everyone. But unfortunately, not everyone has your best interest at heart or your true intentions at heart. So this has been my biggest learning in this lifetime, and it did nearly take my life. And this is one of the tools that I teach others now,
yeah.
especially the younger generation. They're really struggling and navigating with this, and the narcissistic behavior and just other people that not may not have their best interest at heart.
No,
Mm.
and it's very needed, and that is quite the journey. And I, for one, am glad that you have found your way through. We do need to take a quick break from a word from our beautiful sponsor here, and we will be right back because I want to make sure that you share with everybody what your BENN method is and the MoJoy, so people will get a better understanding of that. So we will be right back.
Okay. You feeling stressed, burnt out, disconnected, and just stuck, and you want your MoJoy back? Hi, I'm Linda Joy Benn. I'm an international speaker, best-selling author, and transformational catalyst, and founder of the BENN Method, which is a revolutionary approach to healing, self-care, and transformation. I've had over 35 years of expertise and helped thousands globally around the world who were stressed, fatigued, and looking to reclaim their health and their well-being. And using my BENN method, I've also healed my own body of cancer and autoimmune medication free. Now I work with others, empowering them to reclaim and come back into alignment with their soul's mission, and to restore their balance and freedom in their life, and then jump out of bed and go, wow, I feel fantastic. I love my life. I have the best life. And then spread that happiness out to their loved ones and everyone that they come in contact with. If you would like to reclaim your MoJoy, let's connect, and I look forward to talking to you soon.
Linda, let's start with the BENN method. What is the BENN method?
So it was channeled when I was at rock bottom. I asked Spirit, what do I need to heal my body? And that's what came through. And it's also an acronym for my last name. It stands for balance, energy, nurture, and nourish. And the fifth step is stepping into the new you, the new version of you. We have infinite possibilities, infinite opportunities awaiting for you. And it's like stepping into that new self without all the past, and letting that go, and then feeling and stepping into that. And so, because that's what we're all capable of. There's so much science that actually proves this, the power of our mind and the power of our thoughts, and how we are the creators, and we are co-creating our reality with spirit constantly. And so the BENN method is those steps. And this is what I put together in my academy, because if you look at each one of those steps, it's massive. Like there's a lot to break down into each of those steps, but it really comes back to, who are you as a soul? And love and accept yourself, and let go of all the limiting beliefs that are keeping you stuck, or keeping you sick and tired, or keeping you in suffering or misery, and or any ailment in your body. You have the power to heal yourself. And it's like, when you can just take responsibility for who you everything that you create and attract into your life and go, oh, how do I create this? Then you have the power to transform it into what you choose. And that's really the foundation, is step into the new you, but the BENN method, these are the steps to follow. And this is what I break down in my academy, which is like a 12-month apprenticeship for people who want to then train others. So it's a train the trainer program, as well as others. They don't need to be a trainer. They can just come and be a practitioner and just learn the tools and the self-care for themselves, because what the BENN method is advanced self-care for the soul. who who are you as a soul, and why did you come here? We, as a soul, we didn't come here to go, oh, I'm here to collect all these material things because then I'll feel worthy, or I came to, get 15 PhDs and then I'll feel enough, or I'm here to, marry and get divorced and have all these relationships in order to love and accept myself, or whatever it is. It's like we watch all these patterns play out for people, and it's like, and I ask people when I meet them, it's like, what makes you amazing? Most people can't answer that question.
No, most
And
people don't. Yeah.
it throws them off, and they don't know how to answer that, because most people go, what do you do? And then they rattle off all these, qualifications, or I'm this, I'm that, and it's all titles. It's not who you are. And that's why when I'm interviewing people for my own podcast, um, and I've been told I ask very penetrating questions, because that's what I do in my coaching. It's like I go to the root, the root cause, and what's underneath that, and what's your why? Why are you here? And it's got nothing to do with what success you've created, or how many companies, or how much you have in the bank. It's like, who are you being as a soul on this earth? And 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 really asking, yeah, who
Well,
am I?
and that's a really good point, because that's not something that we're brought up with. It's not something we're really taught. And normally, if you did say something like that, a lot of people would look at you like you're conceited, or, and then you got people judging you. So I think a lot of people, we kind of get in our head, but we're not used to coming out with those root questions. But I like what you said, because it's important that people say, like you said, how did I attract these things? And that's a whole different
Mhm.
mindset right there, because everybody is always so quick to blame everybody else. But really, like you said,
Mm.
take responsibility, right? It comes down to,
Yes.
why did you attract it? What did you do that attracted it?
And this comes back to our thoughts and the beliefs and the programming of, we attract and create everything in our life. So depending on where you're vibrating at, and your frequency, is what you will attract. So you can go traveling and go to a city and go, wow, this is amazing. I've had so many wonderful experiences. I met so many amazing, beautiful people, and I had the best time. And then you can ask someone else who went to exactly the same city or country or whatever, and they can go, oh my God, everyone's horrible, and it was dirty, and it was, just the worst experience, and blah, blah, blah. And it was like, wow, two different perspectives, right?
Right.
So, what energy are you putting out there to attract that into your life? And this is a question that we all, when things are not going well in our life, It's like, okay, what's the end result that I want? What's the outcome I choose? What's for my highest good and destiny and the highest good and destiny of all? And when you can come from that place and focus on the outcome that you choose, and if it's in alignment energetically with the earth and everyone else, well then that's how easy it is to manifest things. And whereas if you're coming with all those old programs and beliefs and conditioning and this always happens to me and blah blah blah, and
You're
coming in with
hateful.
the fear, it's going to guess what, that's what you're going to attract. It's the same with food that we eat. If you have a fear about, okay, if I drink this thing, because it's like this is where the programming comes in, right?
Hmm.
And but if and this is where the placebo also is being proven. So it's the belief. It doesn't matter. We can eat something or drink something, or if you believe that that thing will cause cancer, or that thing that will make you fat, or that thing, well, the belief that you have about the outcome, whatever you believe, you're right. You're true. It's true. It's true for you.
Yep.
Yeah. And this is the power that we have. But if you believe that if I drink this, and this is where we can actually program our water,
Right.
and this has been proven with Dr. Emoto's work and the crystals and or the water experiment. And if your audience hasn't heard of that, please look it up on Google and you can actually see the visual pictures. But we can program our water and infuse with love and light into our water bottle. And then when we drink it, we're filling our body and every cell with love and light. And this is, again, taking responsibility for your health, your well-being, and taking charge of your life, because you have the power to heal anything that's going on in your body. If there's pain in your body, I was talking to someone yesterday and she's got shoulder pain. And I said, well, just ask the pain, what is the message? And because the body is constantly giving us messages in order to heal ourselves. And if you can look at the pain, and when you acknowledge the pain and ask the pain, because it's just energy, right? It's
Right.
like you can shift it. And so the lady I'm thinking of, she's been going back and forth to doctors and on antibiotics and going to all these practitioners, and then taking painkillers because the pain is so bad and can't sleep, and and it's like, and I'm saying, just ask the pain. It's that simple. And I mean, that's everything that I teach. It in my academy, it's simplifying it. You don't have to complicate it. The mind wants to complicate it, but just drop into your heart and just trust yourself and believe in yourself and trust your inner guidance, trust your feelings. How does it feel? And this is, again, with like mobile phones, it's like all the programming and people are just programmed, and it's like, stop, pull your energy back, get off devices, be out in nature, sit and be still and be quiet and just feel the energy of the trees, or talk to the birds, or talk to the nature spirits, or feel the ground under your feet. It's just so simple. But how many people actually do it on a daily basis and make it part of their self-care regime?
Not many. not many. I've met more now, but most of the times not many. What would you say, in your opinion, though, is the most common barrier for people for them healing themselves?
Is their beliefs and the thoughts that they're thinking, and the old programming. And also believing that I have this condition because it's genetic. So if you listen to Bruce Lipton, he's proven, that with epigenetics.
Mm-hmm.
It's like anything that other family members have got doesn't mean that you're going to have that same condition, because you're in charge of your health and well-being. So, and don't take it on. See, again,
Yeah.
that's the old programming. That's the conditioning that, oh, when you get older, you're going to get arthritis, or you're going to get, this disease. And it was like, well, thanks for sharing, but no, I'm not taking that on. No.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
it's like I choose, and really be aware of the words that you're speaking, because the words that you speak have energy and power, and you're putting that out into the world, and this is how you're creating the outcome in your life. So if you're hearing yourself say, I have this illness, or I always get sick, or I I always get the flu, or this happened to me, or I have to, or I should, or it's like change it to, positive statements. I am, I create, I have, I will, I love, I enjoy. It's like that's the power of the words that we speak, and that's the energy and the decree or the command that we are. As soon as you say I am, whatever follows that is exactly true.
Yeah, it's like that old saying, you be careful what you wish for. If you keep saying it,
Exactly.
guess that's exactly what you're going to get.
The same with you with your thoughts. And this is where, if there is any, just say you keep saying your affirmations, but way back in the background, there's a doubt or a fear, or but what if this? It's like, well, that fear will just cancel everything else out.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
and this is where the alignment. This is why I use the soul alignment. Come into 100% alignment with who you truly are, your true authentic self, your soul's mission, your soul's purpose. And when that's 100% clear and connected, because we're all connected to source,
Mhm.
we have life force energy flowing through us every second of the day. And every person that chose to be here at this time on the planet, every human being, is all connected to source. And it doesn't matter what role you're playing in this lifetime, whether you're playing the evil role or being the light worker, you are still connected to source. You've just chosen to play this role in this lifetime, to play out whatever your soul chose to learn and grow, because we live in a dual reality. So there's the light and the dark. But now there's more light that's shining a light on the darkness. And that's exactly what is all coming to the surface right now, especially in 2025. We're seeing all the darkness that's been going on for hundreds, thousands of years, all the corruption and all the horrible stuff that's been occurring. And why do wars happen? And why is there conflict? And why is there so much division with, religion and politics? So all this is all coming to the surface, and especially when it comes to money, it's like that's all just Yeah, we're seeing all these old systems just crumble because they have to crumble in order for us to create the new earth.
Yeah. So Joy, Lynn, wow. Okay, I'm gonna get Linda Joy. There we go. You
Mm,
created the Joy community, a connection
yeah.
community. Do you want to tell everybody about that?
Yes, I could see a lot of people are getting caught up in the external world, especially if you watch mainstream media or anything on YouTube, social media. We're bombarded with all this negativity, and what it was doing and still doing is creating a lot of fear and a lot of uncertainty. And then people, get caught up in the worry and the doubts, and they're losing their self and who they are, and especially and it doesn't matter who you vote for. It's got nothing to do with religion or politics. We are all souls of God, or whoever you believe in. It's like we are God. We have the universe within us. So the joy community is where you can unplug from all the drama and the chaos and come and get your MoJoy back. And it's where we have really profound discussions and conversations. I if and each week is different. Some week it's like someone will be on the hot seat. They come with a challenge, and it's like I need healing on this, or I need clarity on this, or I'll pull some cards. But it's a supportive community where it's not just me facilitating, everyone has a voice in the room. And so that's where the community that I'm creating, and that's the same for the BENN Method Academy as well. And it's everyone supporting each other, because again, we're all pulling each other up the ladder of the consciousness ladder. Yeah.
And
And,
that
and, and,
and
and
that
supporting
community
each
and
other.
support is so important. See, you're always so joyful. So just joy just like comes to my head first anyway
Uh,
before before Linda. So you have your YouTube channel. Is that where you
yes.
are doing your podcast? Is your community on there? What can people find on your YouTube channel?
So on the YouTube, every week I do the Magical Monday. And so in 2020, when everyone was locked down, it was like, okay, people are really getting caught up in the fear mongering here. What can I do to uplift them? And I started different meditation groups, but the Magical Monday came, and it's like, oh, every Monday I will go live and invite people to come along, to create a magical week, and don't go out and create the miracles. Do not get caught up in all the fear mongering. We're here to play and be joyful and be happy. And so stop getting caught up in all that negativity, because that isn't who we are, unless you want to take it on. And no judgment if you want to, but that's when I created the Magical Monday. So I'm live every Monday on my YouTube for that. I also add different meditations on my YouTube, different interviews, podcast interviews that I do as well, though there is a backlog that I need to get out live. And then any other shorts and spontaneous shares that I do, it all goes on my YouTube channel.
I,
Yeah.
I
And
think
and
that's
it's
great. I think because most people dread Mondays. I'm mindful Mondays. You're magical Mondays. I've met a lady that's manifest Mondays. So obviously, we are truly the opposite of what people normally look
I
at
love
Mondays
it.
as.
Yes. I love it. I love it. Absolutely. And then also the Joy Connection community is not live streamed, and it's a private group. So whoever comes along, whatever you share in that group is a sacred space, and it's safe in that space, because it's not live streamed. Whereas
Right.
Magical Monday is live streamed. Where,
Nice.
yeah,
Nice. Linda, we got
yes.
about 5 minutes left. What would you like to leave the audience with?
Oh, to stop and breathe and listen to your heart and just trust and know that you are so loved, you are so protected, you've got this. You came here to witness everything that's going on in the world and believe in yourself and really truly believe that we are living in such a beautiful earth, and this is where the power of the mind, we can create heaven on earth. And that's why I created my BENN method. It's like, well, you can stay over here, but the BENN method is the bridge to take you to heaven on earth. You have a choice. Everyone has a choice. So where do you choose to live? And if you're ready and willing, well, jump in. If you want to play, let's have a chat. And I invite you to come play. Yeah,
Absolutely. I love it.
yeah.
And I know there's a lot of people that are out there struggling and getting frustrated, getting caught up in one system or another. And I love the
Mm,
fact that you are like living proof that we do have the ability to heal ourselves. You don't have to rely
mm,
on all the medications and everything else that they throw at you. So if
yeah.
any of our
And
listeners out there are listening and you are struggling with that, obviously you can see how she is a true joy to speak with. So, reach out and connect with Linda because she's been through it.
Yeah, and also, Laura, just to let your listeners know, I will be traveling to the US on tour from the 17th of March, 2025. I'll be traveling for 2 months, and I'll be traveling back and forth teaching workshops and speaking at events. So if any of your listeners want to come meet me in person, and then I'm a hugger. So hugs all round.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you and me
Yeah.
both. Nice. So if they go to your website, will they be able to find out where you're going to be stopping at in the US?
Yeah, I'll add the itinerary to my website. Yeah,
Wonderful.
definitely.
I'll have to
Yeah,
check that out.
yeah.
See if you
Mm.
wind up anywhere near Missouri or wherever I happen to be at the time. So, Linda,
Yes,
thank you
yes.
so much for being with us. Truly a
My
pleasure.
pleasure. Thank you, Laura, for having me. It's been absolutely wonderful sharing with your audience. And yeah, and I thank you for providing this space. And if anyone has any questions, please reach out. So thanks for having me, Laura. Really
Absolutely.
appreciate you and what you're doing in the world, and keep shining your light.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And thank you, everybody, for joining us. And we will see you all next time.